Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how the pandemic made me reevaluate some things in my life, and I'm sure it's made others reevaluate in the same way. So recently I was actually listening to the audio version of Gary Vaynerchuk's new book, 12 and a Half, which talks about emotional intelligence and empathy in business. I actually had this on pre-order for a long time and was waiting for it, and it said it hadn't shipped yet, so I ordered the Audible version, and then this one shipped out, so I have both. I actually do recommend getting the audio version because he kind of goes off script during it and talks about some things that are not in the textbook. But I want to share one of these scenarios that stuck with me. It's scenario 34 on page 168. And it says, over a 3-year period, you and your husband turn a side hustle selling virtual art classes into a full-time company. You both have been putting out content on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. The business has rapidly grown to $300,000 in yearly revenue. You and your husband have complementary skills and a successful 50-50 partnership. However, your husband is now happy with where the company is at, while you have ambitions to grow to 7 figures and beyond. What do you do? And it says down here, and this is, I think, the part that really spoke to me. And it says, I watch so many people struggle in marriages, business partnerships, and relationships because they're frustrated with their partner's level of ambition. In this scenario, your husband has new data. He now feels that he wants to enjoy a little bit of his money. He might say, I'm happy making $180,000 profit on this $300,000 revenue. Instead of reinvesting it to get us to $1 million, I want to do things like go to Disney World with the kids and stay at a nice hotel. So the interesting thing is, right around the time I hit 6 figures on my business, that's what I did. I took a bunch of money and put it aside to go to Disney World with my daughter. When I quit my full-time job and then went full on my business, you lose some of those benefits that you have from employers, and you have to pick them up yourself. Things like life insurance and things like your retirement plan. So I had to get a new retirement plan, and I have made some small investments into my retirement plan, but I haven't gone as hardcore as I think a lot of financial advisors all over the internet would probably have you do. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Like, I understand the importance of retirement and that I should put money away for retirement. It's not that I'm not putting money away for retirement, but having been through a situation where my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in her early 60s, died at 63, and then a few years later, like, her younger brother died of pancreatic cancer. It's tough having watched my mom worked and not really gotten to enjoy much of her retirement. Even if she had, wanted to or had longer time, she really wasn't in a fit enough of condition to go out. I know I told the story somewhere before where my mother was going to my cousin's wedding and she had to park on an incline and walk like a block or two uphill to get to the wedding chapel, and she didn't want to do that, so she just turned around and went home because she didn't want to walk that block or two uphill. And I'm not shaming my mom, I'm just saying that could very well be me in my 60s. I have venous insufficiency in both of my legs. My circulation's not been great. My family's prone to diabetes. That could be me in my 60s. And I think a lot of people pour a ton of money into their retirement because they plan on, in their 60s, their 70s, that's when they're going to live it up. But I would rather put some of that money now into things that I can enjoy right now. In 20 years, my kid's going to be 29 years old. She's not going to want to possibly go to Disney World and do all kinds of fun kid stuff with her mom. I would rather take that money and enjoy it now versus dump it all and cross my fingers and hope that it's going to land up that I'll still be in shape and want to travel and do activities in 20, 30 years from now. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Just last year, I connected again with someone I went to school with from 1st grade until 12th grade. Not that we were best friends, but we saw each other regularly. We had that whole experience of school together. Great guy. He was in the military, I think Afghanistan twice. Came home, was living the civilian life, got married, had a stepdaughter, and then 3 younger kids. And one day he was driving down the road, and I guess got into some kind of road altercation, and the other gentleman pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death. That could be me, that could be anyone. I could be driving somewhere tomorrow, and that would be the last day of my life. I could have an aneurysm. Let's say next week I get diagnosed with something and they're like, yeah, you have a week to live. What am I going to feel better about? That I put a bunch of money into retirement or fixing my bathroom because it needed a remodel? Or am I going to feel better that I spent a week with my daughter doing something that she's going to remember for the rest of her life? I feel like with this creator and gig economy that we have now, a lot more people have reevaluated things like that. I feel like a lot more people are reevaluating their life in that way. Even some of the people that I've spoken to in various business aspects, there seems to be a stronger influx now of people who want that flexibility. They want more time back. They don't want to work as much. Not that they don't want to work, period. They don't want to work as much, and they want to spend more time on experiences. The flexibility is what people are really looking for. You know, there's just so many companies out there that just really ruin it for people because they're so strict and so stringent. And yes, there are bad apples out there. Yes, there are people who are going to ruin it for everyone, but I don't understand punishing the masses for a couple of people who abuse the system here and there. And I'm actually really glad to see some of the things that companies have been super strict about in the past kind of ease up. I always used to chuckle a little bit when I saw these guys all prepped and polished in the revenue cycle with their Brooks Brothers suits and shoes all polished and their laptops with their, fancy bags and and I just think, like, at the end of the day, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, if you're performing at your job, really, like, the shoes are a bullshit show and no one fucking cares. And as soon as lockdown happened and everyone had to work from home, everyone was in their PJs and no one cared about what fucking suit and tie you're wearing. If I'm in an ambulance and someone saves my life, I don't give a crap about the color of their skin. I don't give a crap about the color of their hair. I don't give a crap how many tattoos they have. These things don't really matter. What matters is being able to spend time with your family and the people that you care about and doing things that you enjoy. And I respect that some people are like, look, I have to have a job. I don't want to think about all of the extra things that come with being my own boss. I just want to work my 40 hours and then I want to go and do cross stitch, or I want to paint, or I want to play video games. And dude, that's totally fine. I've been a creative type though for a long, long time. I built my first website back in, I think 1996, 1997 on GeoCities. And when I got into medical coding, I always had in the back of my mind that I would love to mix that creative mindset in with this like data accuracy driven world. And it was amazing when I got to do that when I started the Contempo Coding YouTube channel and got to mix that creativity, that side that likes to build things and make them and throw them up on the internet with that medical coding niche. But the reason I have this channel is because I like to talk about things other than medical coding. I'm still trying to figure out though exactly what that is. While I want this to be a profitable channel, I want it to be a successful channel, and I have the knowledge to make it a successful channel, I feel like I still want it to be fun stuff that I want to talk about. The growth as a creator over the decades, I think, is very fascinating. I have seen some people that used to be in the pop culture niche with me 20 years ago and are still continuing in that niche. But for me, as I've grown in my journey, I don't like that clutter of having all of the Funko Pops and all of the toys and all of the posters and, all of the nostalgic little goodies all over my house. So it's not that I don't still love Disney cartoons and anime and Star Wars and Harry Potter and video games. It's just that you won't see them as prevalently displayed around my house as when I was in my younger years. So mad respect for the people who are constantly doing unboxings, because I don't know where you're keeping all that stuff. Now, kind of going back to what I was talking about with vacations and flexibility, it's funny, I was having coffee with my best friend Allison recently, and I said my goal for 2022 is to work less and vacation more, and then also to laugh in the face of everyone who thinks I can't do it. And one of the things that really woke me up to the possibility of that was I was doing my push journal by Shailene Johnson. And she made mention that one of her push goals is to take 8 vacations a year. And I didn't even realize that as a possibility until I had heard someone else say it. Like, until Shailene had said that, the thought process of these hustles When you hear these other business owners talk about the business and the hustle and give their opinions on how you're constantly working, it seems like vacation is almost something that's not even achievable because and you do, like, I love what I do and I love working. I enjoy what I do, but I also enjoy going on vacation. And everyone makes it seem like, oh, you can't really go on vacation. You can't really shut yourself off because you are going to be having to constantly do your business. So you're constantly going to be having to do emails and you're going to have to stop in the middle of the day and do the blah, blah, blah and have this conference. And I don't. Like, if I'm on vacation, I'm going to disconnect. Those pictures to me of people on the beach with their laptops seem ridiculous because if I'm on the beach, I'm going to be swimming and enjoying the beach, not working. And I've realized that it's okay for me not to want to continue to grow my business. Some people are great at managing teams. They're like, I want a team, I want a squad, I want to have all of these people, I want to manage them, I want to, build an empire. I don't want to scale. I want to stay manageable. I want me and maybe a couple of assistants, like my accountant. I hire my accountant. She's not employed by me. I would be happy to have an assistant or a video editor, but I'm not great with managing teams. So I really want to keep my business in this like sweet spot where I'm making good money and I don't need to buy a Lamborghini. I am not looking to ride around in a Tesla. I am very happy in my like $130,000 semi-attached house in the burbs. So it's really balancing that sweet spot of like keeping everything very manageable so that I still have the flexibility, but then I can take a week off and just be like, hey, you're not going to get a response to me in these time frames. If it's something super urgent that only I can handle and it needs to get done, yeah, I can do that on my phone. I do not take my laptop with me on vacation. And honestly, I think I'm seeing a lot more people like that there's not wanting to make $1 million, that they're like, this is the comfort zone. I just want to not work as much and I want to travel some more. And I might get to 8 vacations. To be honest, I take some mini vacations and that's still a vacation. So a long weekend still counts as a vacation. So I might hit that 8 threshold that the Shailene Johnson has. And I'm going to do it with pink, purple, and blue hair because I'm no longer bound by these company regulations that are like, well, you can only have natural hair color. So when I read that in the book, that's the part I think that hit me the most, was I'm looking for that, $150,000, $300,000 threshold for my business. And I actually don't want it to go too far beyond that because if it does, then I'm going to have more work that I need to be working on instead of being able to just finish a project, kind of relax a little bit, take a vacation, etc. And it's so crazy how the goals have evolved over the years from I'm just like, oh, I just want to be a medical coder and work from home and do 40 hours and then watch TV for the rest of the time to like running my own business and having merged my creative side. And it just blows my mind because honestly, when I was in high school, I don't think anyone expected anything more than me other than like being someone's secretary. And if you're interested ever in growing yourself and growing your business, trust me, if I can do this, freaking anyone can do it, and you can do it too. So that's my insight. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Definitely check out Gary's book, 12 and a Half, and I'll see you in the next video.